Welcome back to my channel. It is me. It is I. It is she. It is it. Who is it? Who? Ooh, this box. Who is it? It is me. It is I. It is she. It is Rosie Rosette 2020. Hi. How? Honey, I guess it's too cold right here because my sinuses are acting up. Okay, this is going to be very short. This is going to be very. Let me. Should I put on a little lipstick? Cause a little lip gloss because my lips. That shine is going to. Girl, let's make these lips. Ooh, let's make these lips pop. I was looking at something today, and I was looking at the young kids put on their lips, and they make them bigger. Girl, they draw out. I'm not there yet. I just rather get mine poofed off so I can look like this. Anyway, parents, can we talk about something? Can we talk about something? In this pandemic, right? In this pandemic, um, you know, there was takeout food, the kids stopped going to school, so the parents got a little more EBT, right? Food stamps. Are you parents, excuse me, this hair, are the parents teaching these kids how to cook? And I don't know why I wrote this down. Something that I saw today triggered this subject to me. But, well, oh, you know what it was? Okay, so I was going through, it was something on Facebook. Okay, because I get into it on Facebook, but I do it for giggles or whatever. People are so appalled by what I write. Oh my God. Because I have no, because then someone calls me, then they talk about my makeup, and then they talk about my wigs, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm just like your mama. I'm just let it out, your mama. You want to talk about me? Well, guess what? And the guy said I'm his mama's age. I was like, okay, well, let's go. Let's go. Anyway, I was thinking about how as a young kid, my mom was not a cook. All right, she was not a cook. I think the only thing my mom made was stew. That's it. That's it. That's it. When I was little, I grew up on TV dinners and McDonald's. Okay, um, I'd load up on TV dinners. I would eat cereal in the morning and TV dinners, and for dinner or whatever. Or a lot of times I would walk up the hill because my grandparents lived like 5 blocks up, and I grew up in San Francisco, so it was like up the hill on Plymouth Avenue, and then I had to turn on to it. Anyway, and my grandfather every night at 5 o'clock had dinner on that stove. I don't know how he did it, but every night, even when he was sick, when he come back from the hospital, every night, because my grandfather had worked in the shipyard in San Francisco Navy shipyard, and he caught cancer because of the asbestos. Okay, so he was sick. I think he died when I was 19 or 20, 19, I think. And I know I've told you guys the story, but so we were always at General Hospital, and I just thought that it was normal. All of my young years, I was at General Hospital because he had a heart attack. I didn't know what a heart attack was, but he had multiple heart attacks, and yeah, he had multiple heart attacks, and he was always sickly. And I think he worked at the Coca-Cola plant on 3rd. But prior to that, he worked at the San Francisco shipyard. And then I think he was in the military. And after him, my grandmother got married. I guess after he got out of the military, I think he worked at the shipyard. And then he worked at the Coca-Cola factory off of 3rd. Because I remember I was a little girl, going to pick him up. It was all of us. We'd go pick him up from work. Who drove? I don't know who drove. Because my grandmother didn't drive. She didn't drive until after he was dead. My grandmother never learned how to drive until after he passed away. She brought a Mercedes. But other than that, okay, so he had dinner on the table at 5 o'clock. My grandmother didn't cook. She only baked. She only had made cakes with jelly on top. I don't know. I don't know. And then she made it. I didn't like her baking. I didn't like her baking at all. I thought it was too. I had jelly cakes. Ugh. And then my mom made stew, and then my mom loved German chocolate cake and not carrot cake, coconut cake. Ugh, ugh. And then she would always buy for my birthdays strawberry cakes with whipped cream icing. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. She never asked me what I liked. That's what she wanted. No, whatever. You gotta love it. She tried. Whatever, I guess. She had me when she was a young age. So it's really important that kids learn how to cook. Now I'm gonna tell you why. Food is expensive. Food is expensive to eat out. I don't know how you guys do it. I honestly don't know how you do it. I am cheap and I'm very frugal on most things. I am very I know my son is cheaper than me, but I am very cheap. I do like to shop, but it has to be bargain basement. Only thing I spend money on is jewelry. Well, I used to. I don't do that anymore. My phones. Now that you can't. I buy that on Black Friday. Other than that, everything is cheap, cheap. It's nothing for me to go to Goodwill, but I go to Ross. I go to Macy's. Like I said, I go from Goodwill to Neiman Marcus. Okay, anything in between. Anything in between. Anything in between. But food is very expensive. It's even being as expensive to come from the grocery store and buy groceries and go home and cook. But it's even, I'm just talking about from scratch. Now, I'm not even talking about, the pre-made food or whatnot. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about delivery service. I'm just talking about buying from the grocery store, bringing it home, and cooking. Milk is expensive now. Um, Juices are expensive now. Fruit is expensive now. Everything. Meat, vegetables, everything. So, on top of that, to go to a restaurant or something like that and cook, I mean, to buy it, that's really expensive. I I'll tell you what I like. I love Panda Express. I do. I love Panda Express. I'm gonna tell you why. Because on one Christmas, I treated my son because we went to the Fairmont for Thanksgiving. I was like, okay, you do that, and he spent like $200 or even more, and that was a real treat for Thanksgiving. Okay, so for Christmas, I treated him to a gourmet Chinese food place. For one, it was packed. Two, it took forever. For three, it was nasty. And I said, and I paid $50. And I was horrified. I was absolutely horrified. I said, never again. Never again. Now, I live in San Jose. There's not a lot of good Chinese food places here. I'm from San Francisco. Okay, my favorite Chinese food place is not in San Francisco. It is in Oakland, California, right across the street from the Grand Lake Theater. I've hipped so many people onto that place. It is unbelievable. I don't even know that place. I haven't been to Oakland in so long. Well, I haven't been to Oakland to eat or anything like that. But I hipped at least 20, 30 people. That was my spot. They had the best Chinese food right across the street from the Grand Lake Theater. I think it's right next to the floral shop. It's really good. I hope they're still open. Oakland has some good food. San Francisco and Oakland, they have good food. Cheap food, too. Not those expensive restaurants. You go to the Mission, get a good burrito. It's probably gentrified, so it's a lot more expensive. But in Oakland, go to Fruitvale, get your steak and shrimp burrito. Ooh, oh, my God. Go to the food truck on High Street. Go to that Chinese food place across from the Grand Lake Theater. Uh, go for barbecue. But you know what? I had somebody come up from New Orleans for this barbecue place. He didn't like it. But what's the barbecue place? Everett and Jones in Jack London Square. I mean, Oakland got some spots. Oakland got some really good spots. I don't know how often they stay open or whatever, but you got some choices in Oakland. They have better Mexican food in Oakland and San Francisco than they do in San Jose. I don't know how. I don't know how that happened because there's a lot more Mexicans in San Jose than in San Francisco. Well, I don't. Yeah, but no, honey, can't nothing beat the Mission in San Francisco when it comes to Mexican food. I'd say that in all of America, all of America. But it's weird that people like I dated someone from New Orleans and he didn't know what guacamole was. He was like, ew. He didn't know what it was. I don't think he had ever he never seen guacamole. Because I remember we were in Disneyland. This is what our second day. He took me to Disneyland. We met in LA. He took me to, well, it's the first night we went to Universal Studios. Then the next day we went, but we just walked around the Universal Studios. And then the next day we went to Disneyland. Yeah, it was so hot. I was about to faint. I was literally about to faint. It was so hot. Was I about this big? I think I was like 20 pounds lighter than that. I don't know. But anyway, um, you got it. Listen, parents, even if you can't cook, ask your kids, what's your favorite dish that you like? It may be macaroni and cheese. It may be spaghetti. I say spaghettis, but it may be spaghetti. It may be hamburger and french fries. Okay? It may be pancakes. It may be waffles. Whatever their favorite food is, YouTube it, figure out the ingredients, and make it a family time so that you can bond with your kids around food. Okay? Take the time out. Take the time out. Now, I say all this said because, oh shoot, he was supposed to cook them chicken chicken nuggets. Oh, my son can make some. Oh my God, he can make some chicken nuggets like you wouldn't believe. Anyway, let's just take example, potato salad. Now, I was never a potato salad connoisseur. Okay, I remember I dated this guy, and he just couldn't believe I could make potato salad. I couldn't. There's some things I just can't make. It's not that I can't make, I just didn't make. So, I'm still not, I won't say good. There's something about potato salad that I just can't get into. I don't know. But anyway, so I got my son to make it. I got my son to make it. Let me tell you now. The best potato salad you will ever eat is from my son. It's sweet, it's creamy. This last time he put cucumbers in, not raisins, no. But oh my, I'm on this keto diet, and I tell you, when I get up, I have to get a spoon of potato salad, just a spoon, just to start my day, just to start my day. Um, you guys, I don't understand how women. I don't even know why women don't cook. I don't understand. Like, you have 5 kids. Like Kim Zolciak, she doesn't cook. Does she have 6 kids? 6 kids? Yeah, 6 kids. How does one not cook? You get married and you don't know how to cook. You have kids and you don't know how to cook. I just don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, how as a woman did you get married and you have kids and you don't cook? My grandmother was like that. She would that house would be clean, all right. She would wash some clothes by hand. She would go downstairs and hang them on the dryer. But that woman wouldn't. She could not cook to save her life. She could not. Now she would bake, like I said, but she would not cook. My mother. I think my mother just started cooking when she was like 60, maybe in her late 50s, 60. Yeah, the man cooked. I mean, when I've dated men who can cook, but you're not gonna cook all the time. You're not gonna out cook me. That's just not gonna happen. Now you can cook some, and I can cook some, but you're not just gonna be the main cook. No, I got to cook. And then it's the men who think they can cook, and I was just like, that's like, girl, I was like, ooh. I remember I dated this guy, lived in D.C. He was like, oh, I make the best sweet potato pie. Oh, and I love me a sweet potato pie. Those were the worst sweet potato pies I've ever cooked. Listen, I'm kind of special, right? I think I'm on the spectrum. I really don't have a filter, so especially when it comes to food, there's certain things I just can't hold, and it just makes me want to blow my top. But please don't say you can cook and you invite me over and the food is nasty. That irritates the hell out of me. Oh, yes, it does. Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But I just don't understand how these women just won't cook, won't teach your kids how to cook. And then, it's just a possibility where the kids are starving. They don't know what to cook. They don't know how to cook. The mama doesn't know how to cook, and she's spending her money on McDonald's and fast food when she could buy some groceries and cook for kids and make it stretch out. You can buy some beans and rice and for a whole bunch of kids buy some spaghetti ingredients and make it stretch. But no, mm-mm, no. No, I just don't know. Eat not, and I'm just not going to put it on the mothers. What about the fathers? If they're in the home, men like to eat. They like to eat, steak. They like to eat. They like meals. They like a lot of food. That's one thing. Like my son, he likes to eat. He knows that I'm not going to get up and cook any. He will get up, make some, what, bacon, eggs, toast. He'll make some pancakes. He'll know how to spread them. That's one thing I did. And that's one thing I did. That's one thing I did. Because I told him, I said, a lot of these women don't know how to cook. I said, so you will save a lot of money if, you can cook. Now, and I have to say, everything that he learns how to cook, he made some pork chops. Oh my God. I swear he seasoned them to perfection. I don't know how. I don't know how. But kids really pay attention to what you're doing. They really pay attention to what you're doing. Let me tell you, those pork chops, I was about to fight him over the pork chop. Um, but thank God I buy in bulk, so, I brought the big pack of pork chops, so it was a lot. You cooked them all at once. But those chicken nuggets, oh God, and potato salad, oh my God. Those three things my son can burn. I'm trying to teach him how to make, baked beans. You put the brown sugar, and you put the barbecue sauce in it, and with some meat, you cut up some onions and bell peppers or whatever. You put it all in. You know what I'm saying? Now he does know how to make chicken soup from scratch. He does. He does. That's the easiest thing you can make. You just cut up some onions as your base. Put some oil in it. Cut all your onions, like 2 or 3 onions. Then load up a whole bunch of vegetables, any kind of vegetables, okay? Put some tomato, a couple cans of diced tomato, get some rotisserie chicken, cut that up, get the ones, I go to Walmart and get the ones that are on sale, okay? For $2, whatever. And there you go. Cut that up, throw it in a pot, season it a little, and let it all, cook. And that's it. That's it. That's it. I taught my sister over the phone how to cook the soup, that homemade soup, because she would always be sick. Her kids would always be sick. She didn't know. She don't like to cook. She's one of them that don't like to have all them kids that don't cook. Um, yeah, taught her over the phone how to cook. And then my other sister, oh my God, she invited me over. And then she had chicken that wasn't cooked all the way. And then, oh Lord, honey, I listen. When people do this, I just can't eat for at your house over there. You know how you taste something and then you taste a little and then you pour it back in. That's I can't. I think I saw someone on Married to Madison do that. She was making some beans, she tasted, and then she took a little and then she poured it back. I no, honey, I can't. I just can't. You do that to me, I'm never eating your food again, ever, ever. When I taste something, I take it all. I don't pour whatever I didn't, taste back into the food mix. That's called a tasting spoon. I will use about 4 or 5 tasting spoons, maybe 10. I got tons of spoons. So when I take that potato salad, I don't double dip. I don't double dip. Take it with one spoon, get it from the container, eat it. If I want another one, I put that spoon in the sink. I get another spoon. I'm very particular about that. Ooh, if I ever see you double dip, that's it. That's it. I'm very particular about that. I tell my son that too. Honey, you better use another spoon. Don't you use that same spoon. No, you taste some soup or whatever you taste. You put that tasting spoon. Doesn't have to necessarily. It's just a term. You can use any spoon, whatever. But you take that spoon and you put what you put in your mouth. You put that in the sink. Don't put it back in there. No, no, no. If it goes to your mouth, that's it. That's it. Girl, my sister did that, and my head felt like it was gonna twirl, and her chicken wasn't done. You ever eat chicken and you bite in and it's still kind of raw and red? Mm-mm. Nope, not your girl. Mm-mm. That chicken needs to be done. My food has. I don't like steak that raw. I just dated a guy who's Mexican. Ooh, he liked this steak like raw. That's like the most disgusting thing in the world too. And the thing about it is, okay, so he wanted me to cook for him, right? Excuse me, my allergies, whatever. He wanted me to cook for him, but he didn't like onions. He didn't like seafood. He couldn't eat seafood. Couldn't eat onions. Like I was like, oh no, no, no. He wanted me to make spaghetti without onions. I was like, how does that happen? How do you make spaghetti? Like I put onions and garlic in almost everything. I gotta buy some more garlic. I used to put garlic in everything. You know what I'm saying? But no, he didn't like onions and garlic. I said, oh, you know what? That ain't gonna work. That was one of the best men I've ever had. But girl, I just couldn't. I couldn't. I could not. Oh no, and he snored too. But anyway, I just didn't understand. But listen, parents, teach your kids how to cook, even if it's one meal, even if it's the only thing like you like. Like my mother, the only thing she cooked was stew and German chocolate cake. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's all. She was a steak and potato woman. She didn't like vegetables. No, she didn't like vegetables. My mom was definitely a steak and potatoes. Well, I just that she can. I think she made a steak. She can make steak and she can make a potato. So she baked potatoes. She made steak and stew and German chocolate cake. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. I mean, her mother didn't know how to cook. I guess she never asked her father how to, teach her how to cook. I don't know. None of the women knew how to cook. I don't know. My grandfather though. Now they had a house in San Francisco, but their yard was huge to be in San Francisco. You don't have backyards that big anymore. They could have had 2 or 3 houses built. No, another house built in the back as big as that yard was. Anyway, he had greens and he had some other things, but I just remember greens. My grandfather, boy, he can make a mean pot of greens. A mean, mean pot of greens. They didn't have dessert much. Oh, he could fry some liver and onions and it would smell so good. But boy, it would give me every time I wouldn't eat that night. I think I would. They always had Neapolitan ice cream. Always, always, always. I think I would eat ice cream that night. Yeah, that's what I eat. When he had liver and onions, I just couldn't do it. I just could not do it. Yeah, I don't know how that man had dinner every night on the stove. because my uncles, they were big and they were greedy. My uncle would have, so here's the plate. It would be stacked with food, especially on the holidays. Especially on the holidays. Turkey dressing, greens, yam, macaroni and cheese. My uncle Mark would have his plate filled, and they would eat. So, I'd have to get my food before they got theirs. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather loved to make smothered steak. Oh yeah, Salisbury steak and smothered steak or whatever. Paul could cook. Grandpa could cook. Grandmother can cook. Mm-mm. Mother can cook. Mm-mm. I can cook. I can cook. Now I'm not no gourmet chef, but I can. I'm not gonna starve, and I'm not. I just, I told you about the guy. The guy in New Orleans. Well, he did. He couldn't cook. He no. Couldn't cook. And he didn't want me to cook, so we went out every day when I was there. Every day, I went to so many restaurants in New Orleans or whatever. But after a while, you're like, okay, damn. Can I just, can we just do can I cook a hamburger? So one time I was like, I gotta cook this time because I went out there like 10 times, but not 10, but one time I stayed a long time, like 18 days. We were gonna get married, so I was trying to get used, acclimated to New Orleans or Metairie. Anyway, I was like, okay, I gotta cook something because I can't, we can't just keep going out like that or whatever. So I cooked some jambalaya. Oh, I cooked some jambalaya and I cooked some baked beans for him. Hmm. Yeah, and then I left and he made that jambalaya and the baked beans stretch or whatever. But your parents, you have to teach your kids how to cook. That's just not that should just be a recommended. You know how like they have to get their tetanus shots, their shots. They have a yellow card. You need to have a yellow card. Of, you know, okay, cook teach your kids how to make macaroni and cheese. I think all the kids know how to make macaroni and cheese. Love to eat macaroni and cheese. Teach them how to cook rice. Teach them how to cook spaghetti. Teach them how to cook beans. Teach them how to fry chicken. Um, what are people? Whatever your ethnic background is, make sure they just know the basics so the kids don't starve. Or, when they move away from home, they don't, gain 550 pounds because they're finally away from home. They don't know how to cook. They're, eating in the dorm or, whatever when they finally get on their own. And, they got to pay rent and all that or whatever. But they also are going to spend all their money on going out to eat. Don't do that. I don't want. I remember when I was little or younger, I was at everybody's house, all of my girlfriends' house. I don't know if I was ever at home. I think I was at home Monday through Friday, but when Friday on the weekends, I was at somebody's house. If I wasn't at my grandparents' house, because both my grandmothers lived in the same neighborhood, so if I wasn't there, I was there. I loved eating my paternal mother's cooking. Oh, she could cook. Oh, honey. Oh my goodness, Betty Oprah could cook from scratch. They grew up in the depression or whatever, and they didn't believe in going out to eat. That was a rarity. People in that age group, no, you stay home and cook. Black people now, I don't know about other ethnic groups, but but then when I would go over my friend's house and I just loved it. Well, I was the only child, so I loved when we were all at the table and food passing around. I remember my friend Kenyatta, her mom and my mom worked together at AT&T or Pacific Bell. And it was a big family. She had like four sisters and a brother, and I would just scoot in or whatever. And ooh, I would eat at their house. I would eat at my grandparents' house. My best friend Giselle, her mother could really cook. Diane Talley, and who else? My friend Javella, her mom could cook. It was a big family. Ooh, I just loved it. I don't even know who was the best. But everybody, most of the mothers cooked. Mine didn't. Now, my stepfather, he was an ex-fireman. He could burn. He could cook. But, men, they just, it was a different type of cooking. They cook hard food. Women, we cook cooking. It's a difference between men cooking and women cooks or whatever. They're like more chefs. Women are a little more softer. You know what I'm saying? Um, but no, my stepfather could cook. His mother could cook. I think she's cooked for white folks, rich white folks in San Francisco. Oh, I wish I could get that red Cadillac. Ooh, that was a beautiful Cadillac she got. She used to work for rich white people, and she would cook for them. Ooh, I used to love to go over her house for Thanksgiving. We'd go over her house for Thanksgiving. Then I would go over my mother's house for Thanksgiving, and then I would end up at my father's mother's house for Thanksgiving. Oh my God, I had to hit 3 or 4 houses every year, at least 2. I always had to go over my first. I would start off at my mother's house, and then someone would drive me and drop me off at my father's. And my aunt Veronica, oh, she would make all those sweet potato pies and those cakes. And my cousin Nisa and I, we would stay up or get up the next morning. We would stay up at night, eat all the sweet potato pies. Ooh, and then the next morning we'd get up and we would eat those sweet potato. Oh, I love my aunt Veronica could make some sweet potato pies, and that's my love. That is my favorite dessert. I can throw down a. I've been doing it ever since I was a little girl. I can eat an entire sweet potato pie in one sitting. I can eat 2 sweet potato pies in one day, and that's where the wait begins. The wait begins. So normally I try to either fast around Thanksgiving because if I don't, the sweet potato pie and Reese's are my weakness. Are my weak, and you know what? Thank God, that's one thing I cannot make. I cannot perfect a sweet potato pie. And listen, I don't want to. I don't want to. I will stick to that uh, Patty LaBelle's sweet potato pie from Walmart because I don't even want to. I will be 500 to 600 pounds. I will. I would. Honestly, I honestly would. Listen, this is 31 minutes of your life. I don't know if you're able to stay through this whole video, but if you are, thank you. I appreciate it. Parents, please, I don't care what background you are. Please teach your kids. I don't care if they're 5. Get them in that kitchen and teach them how to cook one dish. You could start with boxed macaroni and cheese. I don't know a kid alive who doesn't love macaroni and cheese, the box macaroni, not the soul food macaroni and cheese, but the box macaroni and cheese. Mm-mm. No, no. Teach them something. Teach them how to cook rice. Teach them how to cook rice. Teach them how to cook hamburger and french fries. Cut up a potato, you know, do some ground beef, have cheese, pickles, lettuce, tomato, and 2 buns. You don't even have to get, the ground beef. Get the patties that are already pre-made. Get these kids in the kitchen and teach them how to cook nutritionist meals so that they don't have to grow up on Wendy's, McDonald's, Panda Express, um, Jack in the Box, Burger King, all of these restaurants that have these processed foods. My goodness, and when I go to the grocery store and if I see another cart full of cup of noodles, I am going to die. That stuff is not good for you people. It's definitely not good for our kids. But listen, I think I have shared enough of, my past life as, a child and why I feel this. There's a definite disconnect with these kids in that kitchen. And teach them how to clean up after themselves. Teach them that don't go to bed unless that kitchen is clean. Okay? That's another thing. Anyway, my dishwasher is running because my son makes sure that, dishes, that sink better not be filled with dishes. Okay? You sleep, no, you will get up and clean it. Anyway, have a lovely night. Get those kids in the kitchen. Okay? All right. Bye.